WTH.
What the hell?
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 This is the WTH, the WTH podcast.
Hold on to your butts.
Jason Casey, Kareem Daniels, and Nate Darling. From the Darling New Media Studios. This is the WTH podcast.
Oh, hey, welcome into another episode of the WTH podcast. With me, as always, is Jason Casey.
What up?
And just walking in the door, he hasn't even taken off his mask. That's how committed he is. Kareem Daniels. Kareem, hello.
The Cake Crusader today.
You can take your mask off if you want. You're well over 6 feet from me. I told Jason, I said, we're starting anyway. He'll get here or he won't. We'll just deal.
Hey,
Hard
don't be
start.
treating me like Jason, goddammit.
Hard start. Coming up on the show today, we've got some Trump stuff to get to because, well, I promised. Is Trump running to be the second Confederate president? I have evidence that he may be.
I might agree with you.
Plus, we asked the question, why are white people angry?
That is the $350 million question.
And what happens when a Detroit man does his best Dukes of Hazzard impression? All of those things coming up for you on the show today. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, hello and welcome into the live stream. It's good to have you here. It's extremely good to have you here. We do appreciate you doing that. If you're downloading and listening wherever you are around the world, we appreciate that as well. And we hope you will check in. We are going to have a new way to check in, maybe by the time the show is up on Wednesday. You know what? By the time the show is up on Wednesday, we will have a new way to check in with us. And it is a new app. I don't know if it's a new app, but it's an app that I found out about today, and it's called Swell.
Swell.
It's called Swell. And if you search for WTH podcast on Swell, you will be able to interact with us via voice. So you'll be able to leave a voice.
All right.
And we are going to put out questions, topics, and things like that throughout the week where you can sort of weigh in. It may be something that's on the show that week. It may be something we're thinking about for the show in the upcoming week, but we're going to give people a chance to sort of weigh in and be part of it. And we may play your Swell responses right on the podcast. And Swell is an app, by the way. It's a free app that you can get in the App Store or the Google Play Store. So that's something I found out about. I'm like, let's incorporate that into the show and see how it goes.
Cool.
Yeah. So wherever you are, it's good. Anywhere in the world, you'll be able to send us Facebook messages. You'll be able to, I think I can do a WhatsApp message. I would need to put my WhatsApp in, but if you're one of our Australian listeners, feel free to reach out and let us know what's going on with you. So that's the latest. Let's say this. What do you want to talk about, Jason?
Sausage. What was the last really great sausage you had? Because I had a Chili Verde sausage from B. Miller Meats, and it was amazing.
Okay. Kareem, would you care to take the sausage question?
The last one I had is from, what's his name? We did his wedding. Justin's place.
Yeah, Justin gets his, I believe, from Marantz.
Okay.
Frankenwaffle. I think
Frankenwaffle
is still closed right now because COVID. And I think Marant is where he got his sausages from, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, that was the last good sausage that I had was from Frankenwaffle.
People will call me a Philistine for saying this, but I've had a couple of pretty good sausages. There's Louisiana Red Hot sausages that I get at Costco. Actually, both of them I get at Costco. In the big pack, it's like a 3-package pack, and those are quite good. And there's also, I think it's called Tender Belly. Tender Belly specializes in non-cured pork products, and they have non-cured sausages that have a very bacony flavor to them. They're really quite good. Right? That's exactly the thing I was saying. I'm like, I don't know that I want a 3 package thing from Costco. So we got a single pack from Nugget, and I was like, boom, those are good. They're in the rotation, but probably keeping down on the sausages, nitrates and all.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that these are home, like those are made at the butcher, so probably don't have any nitrates added to them.
They probably do.
You think so?
That's what gives them that great flavor. There may be, there may not be. I don't know for sure.
They're definitely not cured.
Right. Well, uncured is always a little better because there's no sugar.
Yeah.
And you know what sugar does? It makes you run around and scream like a child that doesn't want to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem, what do you want to talk about?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Wait. Sorry.
So you two are married.
Mm-hmm.
So this afternoon, my girl and her niece are going to the grocery store. She says, "What do you want from the grocery store?"
Okay.
"All I want is peanut butter."
Peanut butter.
Why every time I ask for peanut butter, she has to do Nancy Drew in the fucking house to try to see if there's any peanut butter in the house?
Just get some more peanut butter. It's not that expensive.
It's not that expensive. Now, her niece eats peanut butter, but she doesn't eat peanut butter sandwiches. She takes carrots and shit and dips in the peanut butter.
Okay.
Not that she takes a scoop of peanut butter out of the jar and puts it in a plate and scoops it from there. She scoops directly out of the peanut butter jar.
She gets her own jar. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Which means she puts her hand inside the peanut butter jar.
Hard no.
So I do not want to be eating peanut butter that she has had her hands in.
You don't know where that hand's been.
No.
Well, I would bet it's been down her pants.
Look,
that's all of us.
That's all of us. Yes.
That's all of us.
So,
If we're not washing our hands, that's where it's been.
Yes. So I'm just like, I want peanut butter without having to go through. She sticks her hand in the peanut butter, and I don't want her hands been.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a sensitive child, so I don't want to throw that extra pressure on her.
So what you need is your own brand of peanut butter that she doesn't want.
Exactly. And I don't need a big family-sized jar of peanut butter because it starts to smell after a while.
It doesn't need to be big enough to put your whole fist into.
No.
Unless you're her.
Because then it reminds me of the MRE peanut butter. And
right.
I had enough of that as a kid when I was in the military that I don't want it at all.
Sure.
So if you go into the grocery store, you're gonna buy a whole fucking set of groceries and all I ask for is peanut butter. I think I should just be able to get a small jar of peanut butter just for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's a man's prerogative.
That's it.
And did that fail?
Because she did the Nancy Drew. Oh, well, we got this right here, and then we have this right. Oh, this right here does smell bad, but this smells like just. Never mind. I'll just go to Nugget or Sprouts tomorrow and buy my own peanut butter.
I'll get my own Peter Pan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, by the way, Peter Pan is the best.
It is
for me. Could you pull your microphone just a smidge closer to you, please, just to get a little bit better sound? There we go. So I want to talk about Kevin Love, and not Kevin Love, the basketball player. I mean, he is a basketball player, but Kevin Love, the person. He's a Cleveland Cavaliers star, and he's talking publicly about mental health. And what he's saying may have saved his life, revealing that he nearly died during a particularly dark battle with depression, if not for some help from some close friends. Saying, if it hadn't been for a couple of my closest friends, I don't know if I would be here today. Telling my story. He wrote an article for the Players Tribune. His battle with mental health issues is not a secret. He's talked about it for years, but in the wake of Dak Prescott being criticized for talking about his own depression, it seems obvious Kevin feels it's more important than ever to share his experiences. In the article, Love gets candid. By the way, Skip Bayless is the dickbag who was criticizing Dak Prescott. Hey, Skip. People die because of mental illness and the stigma that surrounds it. So someone who is willing to come out and talk publicly about it and their struggles with it is only going to help kids way more than throwing touchdowns. So shut the fuck up, Skip.
Especially someone who just lost his brother like in the last 2 months.
Exactly. Kevin feels it's more important than ever to share his experiences. In the article, Love gets candid about being paralyzed with depression while recovering from injuries during his time with the Timberwolves, saying he barely left his apartment to hide his feelings from the outside world. He said the future started to feel meaningless, and when it gets to the point where you lose hope, that's when the only thing you can think about is how can I make this pain go away? I don't think I have much more than that. Love credits his closest friends for helping him through that dark time, saying it was super important to feel like he could talk with other people about his struggles. He emphasizes that it's important to know those battling with mental health issues are not alone, and encourages people in need to talk with others, seek medication and therapy if necessary, adding you'd be amazed at how freeing it is just to talk to somebody and tell them the truth about what you're going through. If you're struggling right now, I can't tell you that this is going to be easy, but I can tell you that it does get better, and I can tell you that you're definitely not alone. Now, if you know someone who's struggling with depression or thoughts of suicide, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. I bring this up because I have had people in my life who have posted things on social media that were clear cries for help, and have had people criticize them for that and say very unkind things at a time when someone, by the way, you can say, yeah, oh, well, they're just seeking attention. They're seeking attention because they're in pain and they need help. And I get it. If you're like, I'm exhausted with this person and I can't, then ignore them.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you need to solve their problems. And if you see somebody like that, reach out and just go, hey, I'm thinking about you. I care about you. Do you need to talk? Is there anything you need to talk about? And I will say this for anyone who knows me, if I know you and you are having an issue and you feel like I just need to talk to somebody, you can reach out and talk to me. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on social media. I will happily have a conversation, a chat, whatever you need to sort of help you maybe get a little bit of a reset in your life. I'm putting it out there that I am there to try and help anybody that I know who is struggling with anything like that. That being said, if you're feeling like you want to end things, then you really need to talk to somebody above and beyond your friends, probably.
Yeah. And I was going to add to that. You really need to be more willing to listen when people are trying to come to you, because I know I dealt with when my father and my grandmother passed, and I was having a really hard time, but I couldn't get people to listen because either they wanted to pray it away or they just wanted me to say that I was okay and not have to listen. And when you do that to people, it really leaves them like in a really, dark place by themselves. So, you don't necessarily have to take on their problem, but you can take a couple of minutes or a little time to just listen, because most of the time that's all they want. So they don't want you to solve the problem. They just want to be able to talk about it.
You're not going to have the solution,
yeah,
probably. And that's the case. Think about it this way. One of the pieces of advice I got when particularly dealing with women in relationships, is they don't want you to solve their problems. They just want you to listen. And that's something that men really struggle with, because we want to fix shit.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. We want to fix it. We want to go, there's your problem. I see it. Here's what we got to do. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
That's what we're hardwired to do. And it's really hard to just take a step back and listen. Now, once you've listened to everything, you can offer advice. You can go, hey, have you thought about doing this? What about this maybe? And just sort of say, and if people start to get frustrated and frazzled with it, back off. Just go, hey, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we talk about it.
Yes.
Especially as men. Because as men, we like to bury our feelings. We like to, no matter what they're about, we like to bury our feelings. And that's toxic. It has incredibly negative effects, not just on our mental and emotional health, but I think on our physical well-being as well. We don't like to go to the doctor. We don't like to talk about going to the doctor, but we also have all these other things that are becoming worse because we don't want to.
Yeah.
So not a lot of comedy here at the beginning of the show, so I'm sorry, but
It's okay.
I found it too important to not talk about as that came out. All right, so let's get into it. Things that aren't funny. Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away. She lost her battle with cancer, and she died on Friday. She was known for her fiery dissents and an intense work ethic. She didn't miss a single day of work until this past January, a striking fact considering she's battled 3 kinds of cancer since being appointed to the Supreme Court by Bill Clinton in 1993. She was the first female Jewish justice and the second of 4 women ever to sit on their nation's highest court. She filled the seat vacated by the retiring Justice Byron White. She was hoping to retire and have Hillary Clinton name her replacement in 2017. And that didn't work out. So it's kind of a tragic story too.
Yeah, I'm still a bit upset that she didn't retire when they asked her to during the Obama administration.
Well, who knows? Mitch McConnell might have stonewalled that one too. Because Scalia passed away in, what was it, January?
Yeah.
January or February. And the Republicans in the Senate stonewalled and just completely blocked Merrick Garland from ever coming to the Senate floor.
I get you on that, but when Obama was 2 years before she was in her 80s.
And they would not have, I don't think Senate Republicans would have fought as hard to replace Ginsburg with another liberal justice.
Yeah.
As they would to replace Scalia, who was about as far right as the court is going to see.
Yeah.
To do that, especially with that. But it's a very big loss in terms of everything else. She told her granddaughter that her last wish is that her seat not be filled until a new president is installed in January. Now, it may be the same president. We don't know that. I mean, it's entirely possible that Trump wins re-election. And so that makes it a moot point. Trump is going to name a nominee by the end of the week. And I have no issue with that because he's president. He gets to name Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for coming out and saying, hey, I'm going to name somebody. The Republicans in the Senate who did nothing but stonewall and say, hey, we can't, the president in his last year, we can't have him filling seats. Now we're like, no, we're going to rush this right through. We're going to get it right through. We're going to get right through before the election. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Lindsey Graham. Oh yeah. Hold my words against me. Lindsey, I could hold your words against you, except your words mean nothing. Nothing.
Lindsey, no shame. They have no shame whatsoever.
They want to win. They want to win. And that is all they want to do. And that's fine. But what I find interesting is when Lindsey Graham says, use my word against me, go ahead, use my words against me. He knows his words don't mean anything. They mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. My word is my bond means nothing. Nothing in this case. And if I see another article about, it's people on both sides of the political blah, 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 blah. I saw that today with a picture of Schumer and a picture of McConnell. And if you think that those two are the same, you're sadly mistaken. I'm not saying Chuck's perfect.
Right. It's the same dumbasses that keep saying that Joe Biden and Donald Trump are the same.
They're not the same.
They're not the same. You motherfuckers do not understand where the fuck we are in history. You have obviously never read anything about anything outside of the United States about where we are to understand where we really are.
Right.
That what we're on the precipice on. You never left fucking California, or if you've only been like two states over, you don't know. You haven't really talked to people who come here from other countries to understand what it's like in their country, to understand where the fuck we could end up at.
Mm-hmm.
And, you motherfuckers think you've been oppressed. You haven't seen shit. This is the fucking Sacramento is the fucking, these people are the most babyish bitches I ever fucking seen.
I will eat your ass first.
You motherfuckers do not realize how good you actually have it in this city. And all you do is complain about what you really don't understand. You really don't know what it is yet. But if this motherfucker gets reelected, we're going to go back to some Jim Crow shit.
Well, especially if the Senate doesn't flip.
And if the Senate doesn't flip.
If Trump wins re-election and the Senate stays Republican controlled, it's going to be, I mean, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be fine. And I know that. I'm not okay with that because I know that there are plenty of people that are my friends and my colleagues that I care about that won't be okay.
You do not understand that the voting, look, they've already stripped the Voting Rights Act of its power. They've already done that.
Mm-hmm.
Trump has already put more people on the fucking federal courts than anybody has because of the seats that McConnell didn't fill when Obama was president.
Right. Oh, McConnell kept seats open.
Yes.
And now they've you think Trump hasn't done anything? Then you've paid attention to his Twitter and not to what's actually happening.
No. When you say that, when you complain about Breonna Taylor's parents taking the money, you realize that these motherfuckers could make it so that you don't even get money.
Yeah, I don't blame her parents for taking money.
There have been people.
What else are you going to get? Your daughter is gone. There's nothing else you're going to. Yes, you want justice. Yes, you want something done about that. But above and beyond that, not taking that money isn't going to bring justice.
Yes, and they took the money, but they also had reforms built into the settlement.
Right.
So so I'm fucking tired of hearing people complain about shit that they don't really know shit about, and I'm tired of people who just fucking new woke people who just are just now learning about shit. And going to be like, oh, well, what about what were you guys like, motherfucker? We've been talking about this shit for 30 years. Why am I going to talk to you about shit that I talked about 30 years ago? And you spent the last 15 to 20 years of your life smoking weed and doing other dumb shit. Now you're fucking awake and you want to be like, well, oh, how'd y'all let this get like, motherfucker, you're not a teenager.
Yeah, Jason.
You were a part of the people who let us get to this place because you thought the shit that we were talking about was corny or you didn't give a shit about it. Oh, it doesn't affect me. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear this shit. We're at a place now where your ass needs to get out and vote. You need to get out and vote for fucking Joe Biden. I don't give a fuck what the Democrats have or haven't done, quote unquote, done for black people. Get your ass out and vote because you do not want to go to the place that we're going to end up at if, as you say, the Senate doesn't flip and Trump is reelected. You motherfuckers are not ready for that shit.
Because there's no one with the power to hold him accountable.
And you talk about fucking revolution. You don't have a fucking way to produce food for your goddamn self. If you can't do that, if you can't provide food for yourself, you don't have a fucking path to revolution.
You don't, because the Costco isn't on the path.
Costco ain't on the path. Safeway ain't on the path. So
V. Miller Meat's not on the path.
No, this shit's not on the path.
Jason?
Take yourself off mute.
Unmute yourself.
What's that?
Do you have any thoughts on the subject at hand? I know we've been dominating the conversation here.
I mean, I don't know what else I can add to the conversation at this point. I mean, what's that?
Did you feel like Kareem was attacking you personally when he mentioned someone sitting around the last 15 years smoking weed?
No, not at all, because I know that I've been active in trying to change things in the first place. So I know that I know that I'm not one of the people that's the problem.
No, but you know plenty of them. You know plenty of them.
Oh yeah, I mean, most of them are my family and are Trump supporters. So I mean, I mean that's the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it sucks the fucking shit.
It's going to be a really weird world coming up. So people like to throw around Nazi a lot the last, I would say, 20 years.
Yeah, that
word has come up a lot. We actually have, for lack of a better term, a Nazi in a high-level position advising the president of the United States. His name's Stephen Miller.
Yes.
And his ideas, going back to high school, by the way, are problematic at best. And we are in a place, historically, if you look back, Look at Hitler's first term as chancellor. There weren't concentration camps.
Nope.
We have some.
Yes.
There weren't trains to nowhere in Hitler's first term. Yeah, building up the rail. We're in a place where someone who really wants power and control has been doing nothing but testing the waters and seeing how far they can go and how much they can get away with for the past almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And now they figured out they can get away with virtually anything they want. The only thing holding them back would be a Democratic Senate and an election loss. And they're doing everything they can to fuck with the voting, from trying to talk shit about the post office so there's no qualification, no confidence in mail-in balloting, to the Trump supporters who are trying to intimidate early voters in Virginia.
That's the thing that scares him probably the most, is that the early vote in Virginia was out like big time this weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. But there were plenty of Trump supporters waving their flags over there trying to yell at people.
And the fucking Virginia, you're not doing your job, governor or lieutenant governor of Virginia. You're not doing your job because you need to have those people arrested for voter intimidation. They're not supposed to be that close to the polls with any of that shit.
Yeah, I shouldn't be able to see you in your pickup with your Trump flags in the back.
No.
Take those down. The sheriff should be over there in that parking lot going, you need to furl up your Trump flags and you need to roll your asses out of here because you are too close to a polling place with any political signage. I would say the same fucking thing if they had Rollin' with Biden fucking stickers across there yelling at people with red hats. People need to be able to vote and not be harassed. Period.
Yeah. This is the closest thing that if Lindbergh had been elected president, this is where we would have ended up.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Yeah. This is where we would have fucking ended up at.
People think Lindbergh's a hero. So shh.
Yeah. Fuck them. Lindbergh was a fucking Nazi.
People cannot handle this much truth in one spot.
Lindbergh and Ford, not Gerald Ford, fucking Ford.
Henry Ford. Yeah.
Nazi sympathizers.
Well, yeah.
Not just sympathizers, like they agreed with the motherfucker.
Well, yes, absolutely. And that's known about Henry Ford. Lindbergh, it's been a little bit more quiet, and people like to, not only is Lindbergh considered a hero, he's a sympathetic hero because somebody kidnapped his baby.
Yeah. So
people don't like to hear that shit about people that they have in their mind as heroes. So let's dial it back a little bit. Want to shout out to J Red the King from All Eyes on Us. He's watching the show.
I mean, and Elvis, he married his cousin that was like 14, and Jerry Lee
Lewis, not Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lee Lewis, two different dudes.
You know what I mean? But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's like people that are heroes, like those guys to people. It's like that's not okay.
Yeah, I can like what you did and not like you. And I think that's sort of the thing. When I found out the Angels owner last week was at a Latinos for Trump event, and not only was he at it, he was one of the keynotes at it.
Did it make you sad?
It hurt me a little bit. And then I thought, because there was people like, are you going to disown the team? And I'm like, well, no. I mean, they kind of suck this year. I'm not going to disown the team because it wouldn't do me any good, because I would be willing to bet that most of the other rich dudes that own professional sports teams are probably Trump supporters, because they are, first and foremost, rich dudes.
Yes. So we already know that.
What I don't want to know, and don't tell me, better not be true, I don't want to hear that Mike Trout has a MAGA hat. I don't want to hear it. I could deal with Tom Brady. I cannot deal with Mike Trout having a MAGA hat.
That's not what I was going to say.
He's got enough money that he could.
Well, we know that Jerry Jones supports him, and we know that not Bill Belichick, the other Robert Kraft does. Yeah. So the two teams that I hate the most in the NFL, so fuck both of them. Either way,
that was one of the things I forgot to mention that last week, but yeah, that was a tough one. But I mean, he's given money to the Trump campaign before, so not surprising. And again, it's America. You can support who you like. That's part of the great thing. But there's problems. All right. So, Trump had a rally. And I think it's important to listen to some of the nonsense that he talked about. He had a rally the same day Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away on Friday. He apparently did not know that she passed away until after.
They didn't want to tell him during because they were afraid that his supporters would cheer or something.
Well, the people in the crowd did know, and there were chants. I don't know that we're going to get to those, but this is in Bemidji, Minnesota. And not a lot of black people in Bemidji, Minnesota, Kareem. So this is this. Here we go. He's talking about AOC.
But there's a big story. She spent $2 million on bullshit. Okay? And if a Republican did that, they'd be in jail. You know that. It's a different standard, and it's a disgrace.
I don't know what he's talking about.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. Then he decided to talk about the director of the FBI, Christopher Wray.
You saw the head of the FBI yesterday started to go, Russia's looking at our election, Russia. It's here we go again, Russia. I said, what about China? Yeah. What about North Korea? What about Iran? They don't mention anybody else. The narrative seems to be Russia.
There's a reason for that, fucknuts.
Hey, and all of you dumbasses in the crowd that are cheering, most of the FBI people are Republicans, you dipshits.
Absolutely.
They did everything they could to put Hillary Clinton in prison.
Speaking of putting people in prison, he's suggesting members of Congress, and you might recognize some of these members of Congress as being both female and minority. He thinks they might be in prison.
That's what to do. And $2 million, dresses, rent, other things. You're not supposed to do that. Mr. Congressman, are you allowed to do that, sir? You don't do that. You don't buy dresses, do you?
What if he does?
Yeah.
What if he does?
He probably does.
If he does, that's the end of his career, right? No, but it's terrible, right, Tom? I mean, it's terrible. Well, prosecute him. I mean, yeah, why not? I don't understand it. I'll tell you what. A friend of mine, very sophisticated guy, very successful guy, called me up. He says, from the day you came down the escalator with our great first lady, future first lady, said from that day, people love her.
What? He then went back and, played the hits. He started talking about how Hillary Clinton is being protected by the FBI. The FBI protecting Hillary Clinton. The same FBI who, 10 days before the election went and reopened?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we got to start looking at these emails again because Captain Dongpick had them on his computer.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to do that. We want their phones. Oh, here they are. Oh, by the way, they happen to be totally deleted, like Hillary with the 33,000 emails. She deleted them. I think they should look at that. Even if they don't find them, and I do believe they're in the State Department. I do believe they're in the FBI. But even if you forget about them, she said she had 33,000 emails, and the emails were for her yoga lessons. She's not big into yoga, I can tell you.
Okay. She's not big into yoga. Dude, do you own a mirror? I mean, I know you see yourself on TV because you watch a lot of TV. He ain't big into yoga either.
No.
He's not big into yogurt either. Yoga, yogurt, whatever it might be. But it's not just him. Oh no, his fans seem stuck in 2016 too.
So Congress. So forget about it. Let's assume they're gone because she deleted them and then she acid washed them and then she hit her phones with a hammer. I get rid of phones. I've never hit them with a hammer. Not even.
I would love to see this alleged hitting of the hammer by Hillary Clinton. By the way, if you're dumb enough to think that hitting your phone with a hammer is going to get rid of the data, and clearly he does.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. It ain't how it works. It's all in the cloud.
Even as president, I see you throw the phone away. No, I've never hit a phone. Has anybody ever gotten rid of your phone and taken a hammer and wiped the hell out of it? I don't think so. So
No, you reset it to factory.
That simple. Is that simple?
She gets a subpoena from the U.S. Congress, not in a lawsuit against some guy that hates you and you're fighting or something. By the way, you do that, you got problems in court.
Yeah, no, not like me. I mean, yeah, the only reason I'm getting subpoenas is because I fired a guy and he's bitter. That's it. This is a weird stream of consciousness. Now, remember, at this point, he is unaware that Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away. Yet he throws a name out there as a possible Supreme Court nominee.
But here, I even said, I'm putting Ted Cruz as one of the people for the Supreme Court, right? And you know why I did it?
Because you're nuts?
Yeah.
I'm going to move on from there. A lot more Ilhan Omar. Then, as any good dictator does, he decides it's time to. Jason is really hurting right now. He's rubbing his eyes so hard.
You gonna make it, buddy?
He's rubbing his eyes. I promise. We're going to get through this together. He, as any good dictator would, he is now going to threaten the press.
Sick people. They're sick and evil people, and they want bad things for our country, and they don't report the news. You know, in the old days, when you used public airways free, you had to get a license. I keep saying, if they're reporting fake news, how come they can keep getting a license? Whether it's ABC, whether it's NBC, CBS, or of course CNN, which is, I mean, it's one of the great jokes of all time, CNN, or MSDNC. But they're cable, so I guess there's a different standard. But when you're using the public airwaves free, aren't you supposed to get a license? So I asked my people that. I asked a couple of guys, and I never really get an answer. I just want to know a simple question. Do you have to report the truth when you're using free airways and make it a fortune with commercials and everything else? And I never get the right answer because there are people down deep. It's crazy. But we're getting down to all of it. A lot of progress has been made. I think you're starting to see it.
He doesn't want to go down that rabbit hole.
He does.
He does, but he doesn't. He does not really know.
Really does.
He does not really know where that is.
That
ends Fox News. Was it AON?
OAN.
OAN. All of that shit. Yeah.
The Oprah American Network. Yes. I think that's what it stands for, right?
Yeah, sure.
Wouldn't it be weird if Oprah were the one behind?
Oh my God.
You'd lose your shit. There would be riots in the streets. Anyway, it all gets to this. The Republican Party is the party of Lincoln. Now, Trump has said many times that he's the best Republican since Lincoln. Well, he's going for that top spot now, at least in his own mind, because it's time to take Lincoln down a notch.
And he was getting beaten a lot by Robert E. Lee. They want to rip his statue down all over the place. But Robert E. Lee was whether you like him or not, whether you like statues or not, you know, they don't rip statues down anymore. Signed the law. 10 years in jail. They don't rip them down. But Robert E. Lee won many, many battles in a row. And it was supposed to be over in one day. You know, it was supposed to end immediately because the North was too powerful for the South. But it just shows when you have leaders, when you have a great general, and Robert E. Lee, he would have won except for Gettysburg, and that was because his general was killed, who was going to lead Gettysburg. Never fight uphill, me boys, never fight uphill. He heard they were going uphill. Stop them. But we had no cell phones in that day, right, Congressman? No cell phones. So they sent the horses.
I'm sorry, I have to interject something really quick here.
Go fuck yourself.
Back to Trump.
Stop him, but it was too late. They fought uphill and they got slaughtered. That's what happened. But Robert E. Lee, these were incredible things. But I hope you appreciate that we had a period of time when they were ripping down all of the statues and monuments. And I said to my people 4 months ago, I said, this is crazy. These people, and they don't even know, you know, they started ripping down Abraham Lincoln. When they hit Lincoln, I said, wait a minute, this is the man, and you can't do. Then they hit George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, they hit everybody.
Go fuck yourself. Say it again. Go fuck yourself.
You hit everybody.
So is he really saying that he wanted Robert E. Lee to win the war?
I'm saying that Trump is running to be the second president of the Confederacy.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is the audio evidence of it, that he wants to be the second president of the Confederacy. He praises Robert E. Lee, talks about they would have won the war if not for Gettysburg and that one thing fighting uphill. I mean,
that means that we had a better general, you dumb dipshit.
I'm just saying, if he wants to be president of the Confederacy, can we just let him have that?
We can.
Just let him. I mean, I'm sorry for all of your relatives in North Carolina, but
no, we can't let him have them.
Oh, well, that's part of the Confederacy.
Yeah, no. Sorry. Can't have it.
Just the Gulf Coast. Just the Gulf Coast.
The Gulf Coast, yeah.
Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee.
Yes.
And a sliver of Arkansas.
Florida. I got people there too, but I'm like, look, you motherfuckers need to get up out of there.
You've done it to yourselves.
That is it.
You've done it to yourselves. All of this, including the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, led our friend Patton Oswalt to tweet, "I'm not going to stick to comedy these next 46 days. Sorry." Me either.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. It's an interesting time, for sure. And now, Jason, I know in fact that you're exhausted, but you, sir, are not the only one exhausted. In fact, there is a former head of the Republican National Committee who is just as exhausted as you are. And his name is Michael Steele.
Some years on the scoreboard, and I'll put it this way. You could live your whole life and not hear a president without a sense of stewardship over the country. Instead, itemized deaths in states run by Democrats. That was the extraordinary part about today. Our friend Susan Glasser quickly tweeted this out in response. Top 10 U.S. states for coronavirus deaths include the following, won by Trump in 2016: Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia. Michael, a lot of his base lives in that list.
They do, and they don't care. To Gene's point, I've talked to enough of them over the last few days. I'm exhausted. I'm exasperated. You know, at this point, it's like save who you can save, because there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can say. The fact that we have to literally beg people to wear a mask to save their own dumbass from getting sick. I'm sorry. I just, to me, it is beyond the imagination. I'm with John Hyman. I am just so exhausted with this president at this point in the face of what we see happening on college campuses right now. As we turn into fall, we all knew this was coming, and yet this administration has done jack about it.
Former head of the RNC. This is not a bleeding heart liberal. Nope. He is one of the newer members of the Lincoln Project.
Yes.
But this is someone on the Republican side who's exhausted with it.
There are a lot of them. That's the thing that I'm like, the people that are in the audience, I'm like, do you not understand that these are your people? Most of the shit that's coming out about him right now are coming from Republicans.
Mm-hmm. The people in the room.
Yeah. And not middle of the road Republicans, like right-wing conservative Republicans.
Yeah.
And ones that sold their souls for the ability to get judges installed in the courts. Yeah. Honestly, that's the ones that are there.
Once he gets in, we'll be able to control him. It'll be fine.
Nope.
It won't be fine. It won't be fine. Just want to note this, as Trump is still trying to, make a boogeyman out of Antifa. Earlier today, he declared, what was it, New York, Portland, and Seattle?
Yeah.
As anarchist locations. A review of court documents of 51 individuals facing federal charges related to protests. None, zero, zip, zilch have had links to the Antifa movement. Not one. Among all the cases thus far, the only extremist group mentioned in court documents is the right-wing Boogaloo movement.
Yep.
They killed a cop at least once.
At least one.
At least one. So yeah, it's not Antifa. Antifa is not coming to the suburbs to kill you. All right. So I want to because I mentioned this earlier, I want to mention I want to get to this real quick. There is a group of Native Americans, the Kumeyays, and I think I got that close to correct with the pronunciation. They're down near San Diego, and they are on the border protesting the border wall because it's part of their land. So they're down there hanging out, protesting, doing their thing, peacefully protesting, by the way. And some lady decided she was going to roll in there and give them a piece of her mind.
Hey, you're on. You're being recorded. I don't give a fucking shit. We're not violent. Don't touch. We are not violent. We are not violent. You may not touch us. Fucking hands off. You can't touch us. You can't touch us. Please walk away. Fuck out of here. Yo. Hey, lady.
Hey, calm down.
You can't touch
You're being recorded.
You're just like you. Okay, lady, but we're not using violence. My community. We're not using violence. And you guys, really? Yeah. You guys are just. Hey, you can't do that. Hey, you can't do that. You can't do that, or you will be restrained. You will be restrained. Get the fuck out of here. Hey. All of you, get the fuck out of here. I can't restrain you. Without hurting her. Alma. Get the fuck out of here.
Just calm down.
We're not here to hurt you, lady. We're not here to hurt you. I think we should let go. We're playing right now.
By the way, she rolls in there by herself.
Yeah.
There's no one there. She just rolls up in there.
That's a white woman move. White women are I said they're the most protected animal on the planet. You will go to the middle of the Amazon by them fucking selves, hire a guide, be like, oh, I'm just gonna take a nature walk.
Mm-hmm. Well, she starts to, slap at them. They say, look, we're not going to reciprocate your violence. Stop or you're going to be restrained.
That should tell you everything that you need to know about the state of white women in the world, is that they think that they can go to places that natives to the country don't go by them fucking selves.
Mm-hmm. She left, but she came back.
What's your name? Take off your mask. Show your face, you coward. Show your face. No, can't do it because I'm afraid. Take all the pictures you want. Is it going to do anything?
I like how she's come back in her dramatic pose. She's got her hands on her hips. Take all the pictures you want. Is it going to do anything? Is it going to do anything? Jason, have you run into this white lady in the wild in San Diego?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I give you some sort of feed in your life. Mm-hmm. I think we're all morons. All we can do is use our phone to take pictures.
No, they could actually beat your ass, but they're restraining themselves.
Yeah, they could just thunk the shit out of you with their phones too, lady. I'm not sure if that's her Toyota Sienna minivan, but they titled this Instagram post, "Wake Up Call, Karen is Back." She rolled back in at 7:50 a.m.
You guys obviously ain't got it in you today. There's a whole construction site going on right now. Where you at?
There's nothing happening on the construction site. Nothing. Because listen to how soft she's talking. If there was actual construction happening, you'd hear it.
Where you at? You don't want to get in front of a bucket? You don't want to get run over today? Are you guys burnt out? I'm going to make sure I burn you guys out every fucking night.
It must be exhausting to live your life like this. You know what I mean?
Cars.
Right? How do you have nothing better to do? How do you have nothing better to do than roll down and say, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to fuck with this group of Native Americans. And I'm going to tell them I'm coming back every night.
She's lonely.
She really is. She really is.
She probably masturbates a lot less than the average person.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Her kids have moved out. They probably don't even really talk to her.
Husband left her.
Yeah,
now she's angry at the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's someone commented that a pro-wall constituency is likely paying her to harass and assault in exchange for drugs.
That could be true.
The last BP agent made a public threat to plant meth on a land protector's car. He had a slightly different intimidation narrative, but that's what it felt like. What's the construction company name and who's being employed to do this work? There's no construction at 7:50 a.m. when she showed up. I don't know what day of the week it was. It was the week. It was Saturday. It was Saturday. Hey, the construction crew wasn't out there working on the wall on Saturday.
Yeah.
Security's escorting her off.
Goddamn slackers. Goddamn slackers. All right. That's enough of that stuff. We are going to get to some good old fashioned celebrity news, the thing that made us famous in podcast land, world, universe. I'm just saying. You guys watch 90 Day Fiance?
No.
Jason? Oh, you're missing out. One of the stars, Larissa Lima, who it's a 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. No, she got divorced and now she's with a different dude. And she's had $76,000 in plastic surgery to look like Kylie Jenner.
I've seen her.
She had her very first 1 hour lingerie show on the webcam app Cam Soda, and the 60 little minutes hauled in more than $100,000 for that site. The next day she was picked up by ICE, by the way.
Yes.
Although she's been released. Apparently the show had so much interest that now ranks in the top 5 all time on Cam Soda. And I don't know why it's not projecting up there for you, Kareem. I apologize, but there's a shot of her. She's in her mid 30s.
I saw the pictures on I can't remember which I saw it on
it's on TMZ.
I didn't see it on TMZ. I saw it on another one of those sites.
Yeah.
Though.
Part of her plastic surgery, she had she had a boob job. She had nasal reconstruction. She's had fillers. She had lipo, and they took that lipo. You ready, Jason? Put a full pound of fat in each ass cheek.
Yep.
1 pound in each cheek.
The Daily Mail. That's where I saw it.
Jason, what do you think of a pound of fat in each cheek?
Oh, no. Yeah, we got ICE, doing hysterectomy on women. And we have, Cheeto in charge, pushing through. I don't
look. We covered all that. We're on to the celebrity stuff, Jason. I'm sorry. We can only be angry for so long. And then we've got to move on to something else. And we have to. You can't wallow in it all the time.
That's right.
I apologize. I found out about this story by listening to the All Eyes on Us podcast because they mentioned it, but I had not heard it and I had not heard the audio. Paris Hilton has revealed that voice you've heard her use forever, that's not a real voice. She's just been playing the dumb blonde. Here's what it sounds like.
No one really knows who I am.
Followed by cameras for most of her life, this is the first time we've really seen Paris Hilton.
I don't even know who I am sometimes. I didn't used to be that way.
You say in the documentary that the whole world thinks they know me, but they really don't. So who is the real Paris Hilton?
Well, this entire time I have been playing a character, so the world has never really truly known who I am. And the real me is actually someone who is brilliant. And I'm not a dumb blonde. I'm just really good at pretending to be one.
I've interviewed Paris before. The first time there was a list of topics off limit. Now it's all out there.
Why now? Why now be so open?
I just felt like it was time for the world to finally know who I was. I feel that I've been through so much and there's so many misconceptions and just preconceived notions about me. And also, I just, for my legacy and what I want to be remembered for, I don't want to be remembered as some airhead. I want to be respected for the businesswoman I am.
On again, off again.
So there you go.
Does anybody give a shit about Paris Hilton at this point?
Jason?
No.
You don't believe anybody does.
I don't believe anybody does, and that's why this is happening and we're hearing about it.
on Australian TV?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we're hearing about it on Australian TV and not Good Morning America.
Yeah. Yeah. Hearing anything else about it. Did you hear it was it on TMZ at all? Did they talk about it on TMZ at all?
I didn't see it in my scrolling.
Yeah, so there you go. That's what you need to know. That's how much it matters.
she does look a little like a wag at this point.
Yeah.
The wife and girlfriend of an athlete.
Yeah.
She has that look, that mid-30s look.
Well,
although she's in her late 30s at this point.
Yeah. It was her. I guess you could say it was her, Kim, and Nicole Richie.
She was before Kim.
Yeah. So, but her and Nicole Richie were the original, and Nicole Richie has done something outside of that. So she's actually reinvented herself, where you actually almost forgot that that's where she started.
Right. Yeah. But here was the interesting thing. It came out in 2016 because Trump liked to brag about how great he was with everything. And it came out that if you look at what Paris Hilton has done with the money that she inherited, she's actually a more successful business person than Donald Trump.
Huh.
Yeah.
If you look at the real numbers. In other news that was on TMZ, Kanye is pissed on his Grammy.
So now he's on the rant about. I'm like, dude, why should I take you seriously again when you're talking about shit that people have already covered? Now you're talking about the Grammys and owning your master. Like Prince covered this shit already, dude. Like for real. Like he was mentoring artists, everybody from Jay-Z to Alicia Keys about this the last probably 15 years of his career.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck am I going to listen to you talk about shit that he's actually done stuff with people about?
Jason, you've defended Kanye on many occasions. What do you think?
He can go fuck himself. Listen, you can like somebody's music and what their creative output was. He
went past tense on you.
Yeah, he can't. I've lost the respect for him. It sucks because honestly, what it comes down to is he's dealing with a mental disease and he's in a situation that's highly volatile and he's unable to probably get necessarily all the help that he wants or needs because he has so many people that are willing to go outside of what his best interests are and do just as he asks. So there's like that side of things that sucks. But he innovated hip hop in the 2000s and into this last decade. Very important. So, he hasn't raped anybody like Bill Cosby, so I can still have some respect for him. It's artistry.
Yeah, who cares? It's his own Grammy. He can pee on it if he wants to.
He can do whatever he wants, man. He can say what he wants. It's part of that game. It's part of what they do, but at the same time, like, just the last 4 or 5 years, man, just really no.
Yeah.
Since he came out as a Trump supporter, I was like, dude, bro.
Well, he's running for president, in case you've forgotten. And he's actually reportedly asked his campaign staff to stop fornicating outside of marriage.
Doesn't he know that that's how the game is played?
Oh, hey, Kanye.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. He has invented the birthday party as his political affiliation, entered the race too late to make the ballot in both states, although the Republicans are working hard to get him on there. But he communicated with the New York Times through a series of calls and texts. The newspaper suggested those were erratic. At one point, he insisted on speaking to the editor via Zoom, said, "I'm Kanye, who are you?" He asked, and the editor
he went full Karen. He went full Karen.
He added, "I'm the head of everything," before criticizing Democrats' view on abortion, asking, "Does anyone at your magazine believe in Jesus?" New York Times, the newspaper, bud.
Yeah.
Just saying. So he said, don't do that. Meanwhile, in Detroit, dude went full Dukes of Hazzard, and it's kind of amazing to not the dude doing it. He tried to jump his car over a rising drawbridge.
Nice. Everybody wanted to do that.
I believe that's why the drawbridges in Sacramento don't have that ramp like look. Here's the news report from Detroit.
A rising drawbridge on Detroit's west side.
Tim Pamplin is on the scene with the night cam. Tim.
We are down near Zug Island. There's a Fort Street bridge. Normally the arms are up, allowing cars to pass through. Well, tonight one arm is down. Completely.
Okay, I can't get used to this Detroit accent.
Smashed to bits as the driver fancies himself as a bit of a daredevil. Now look, I said no, he ain't. Best bridge operator Andre says he couldn't believe his eyes. Well, the driver is there in the back of a police car. There's his vehicle smashed in. Officers tell me he's full of whippets. Whippets, you say? Yes. That's a whipped cream dispenser. Apparently youngsters nowadays can sniff the gas and get high. Here's Andre again. I hit nowadays and the bridge jam. Detroit police putting out the unusual call this evening.
Actually, he took the hazard across and made it across.
Over he went, blew out all four of his tires, and then he crashed through the other gate over there. The cops said it was like the Dukes of Hazzard. That's what it. I call it the Blues Brothers.
That's great.
I do love the African American bridge operator is like, I ain't making a Dukes of Hazzard reference, bro. Not gonna do it. I'm going Blues Brothers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's happened in Detroit. Just
everybody's wanted to try it.
Also, I want to hit this real quick. Joe Rogan has apologized for spreading a debunked report about left-wing people being arrested for forest fires in Oregon. He issued it on Friday after he spread a debunked report about forest fires being started in Oregon by, quote, left-wing people. The host of the Joe Rogan Experience in his very, very red studio made his initial comments about the false conspiracy theory, which gained traction on social media Thursday, claiming that in Oregon, they've arrested left-wing people for lighting these forest fires. He didn't apologize on his podcast. He apologized on Twitter, saying, I fucked up on the podcast and said that the people got arrested for lighting fires in Portland. That turns out to not be true. I was very irresponsible not looking into it before I repeated it. How about apologizing on your podcast?
Yeah, that's where you should apologize for that.
You should apologize on Twitter, too. But I'm just
definitely on the podcast for at least one of the 8 hours that you're on each day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can dedicate at least one of those 8 hours to the apology.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, buddy.
All right, it's time for Cool or Tool. First up, Joe Rogan, Jason.
Fucking Tool.
Kareem.
Tool.
Yeah, it's Tool. Apologize on your podcast. That's where you made the comment. If you made it on Twitter, you apologize on Twitter. That's how the world works. Motherfucker. Up next in Cool or Tool, fornicating, Kareem.
Cool.
Jason.
Cool.
That's how the world goes round. Kanye, go fuck yourself. Although you have to marry yourself first, according to God's law. Do you even love Jesus at your magazine? I'm Kanye. Who are you? Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Get some help. And finally, in Cooler Tool, drawbridges, Jason.
Fucking cool, man.
Kareem.
Cool.
Drawbridges are fucking Tool. I am so tired of waiting for those motherfuckers. Build the bridge high enough for the boat to go underneath, or don't fucking bother.
You cannot do it with like the way that we can engineer in some places.
Learn to engineer better. This is America. We can do anything. This is America. We can do anything. Either that or turn your boat around. Turn your boat around.
But then
turn your boat around.
The ports wouldn't be able to deliver food to
the Stockton ports.
There's a Sacramento port right down the street from your house.
The Stockton ports are the minor league baseball team in Stockton. You're insinuating that they're delivering food to the world?
Well, Sacramento's port right down the street from you is delivering rice to the world.
Sacramento's port is in West Sacramento. It's all a lie. None of your arguments are valid.
I said it's right down the street from your house, and it is.
In West Sacramento.
Yeah, so it's still Sacramento port.
In West Sacramento. It's all a lie.
You're a lie.
I am the truth. Who are you?
Oh my goodness.
All right. We got a few more things real quick to get to. I just want to say this. I've said a lot of bad things about New Hampshire throughout the years, and I stand by all of them. If you don't believe me, we go now to this racist lady in New Hampshire. It's like Bizarro, Vermont, except full of awful. I mean, there are awful people in Vermont too, but New Hampshire is like, if you turn Vermont upside down and all the blood rushed to their head, they'd say shit like this.
He's a black man, and he's going to protect the brown man.
This is Diana Ploss.
From this white woman, because she happened to walk by and heard this guy talking to all of these guys doing this work in Spanish.
An alleged radio host.
You speaking English?
Well, a lot of them speak English, but I just want to speak Spanish.
Okay, but it is America.
It is America.
It is America. You should be speaking English.
Yeah,
you should be speaking English. They work for the state. You should be speaking English.
I don't work for the state.
What do you work for?
I work for a company.
Oh, so are these people? Is English?
No,
doesn't matter. It's still English.
Okay.
It's not your business.
It makes me long for that lady in San Diego who's bothering the Native Americans. It really does. She's not done.
The fight by berating workers just trying to do their job.
It's English. 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 Is anybody here illegal? Are these guys illegal? Look at this. Look at this. It's America. Speak English. Speak English.
Look at this.
Location,
what? Look at this.
So your tax dollars up here in New Hampshire. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on here.
New Hampshire.
So your tax dollars up here in New Hampshire. That's
your tax dollars up here in New Hampshire. Fuck you, lady.
What?
That's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. That is what's going on. So now they have people who don't speak English who are putting in this stuff.
Demanding as long as they're in this country, they speak English.
The taxpayers are paying for. And look what they're doing. This is communism. This is communism. Look at.
They're putting trees in. I don't know how this is communism. By the way, I want to point out, just for the record, we put a lot of stock in the New Hampshire primary because it's the first primary every year.
Yeah.
This is these are the people that live there. I just want you to know, not everybody's like this lady. There's enough of them.
Yeah.
There's enough of them. By the way, she's not being covertly recorded by somebody else. Oh, no. She's recording this herself. Yes, Kareem?
And that's how clueless they are.
And here's how you know.
What does speaking the language have to do?
Do they not speak the language?
You're driving to the state. What does it say?
I wasn't talking to you.
You're harassing me.
I have a right
to harass people.
How am I harassing them? Why are you wearing a mask?
Why am I wearing a mask?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a global pandemic.
Really? Okay.
Yes, really. 200,000 dead Americans. Why are you wearing a mask?
Okay. So this guy decided that he's going to come over here and be a social justice warrior.
She is off the deep end, deep state, rather. Sorry. Diana Ploss is a bigot, a xenophobe, a person spewing all the MAGA talking points to.
By the way, this is from the Young Turks. If you're wondering, the narrator of this whole thing. That's only about half of it, by the way. We're not going to play the rest, but you get the idea. You get the idea.
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, in Florida, hold on.
You dick.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There we go. Florida. That's all I'm going to do. An old man was very angry. He's a Trump supporter. He's now facing a felony child abuse charge. He's not beating his own children. Oh, no. He's attacked a 13-year-old girl with a flagpole. So he's out at some little Trump thing, and he's got a Trump flag. And these girls drive by, flip them off. Oh, we've lost Jason. We've lost Jason. He couldn't take any more, Kareem.
He's falling asleep anyway.
They drive by and they flip him off and they're yelling. He runs after them. And I mean, I guess good for him. He's 67. So he was moving. And he's got this wooden flagpole that he swings toward the window that's open. And at one point he jams the end of the flagpole into the car. He's now they drove by and they were screaming Biden 2020 out the window, which of course would cause him to be angry. Totally justified. Anyway, after that, they got his license plate number and called the cops, and he was arrested at his home. So that's what's happening with the Trump folks in Florida. Hold on, Jason's back. Let me get him in here. There he comes. There he is. Welcome back.
Didn't pass out.
We're almost done, friend. Meanwhile, a Louisiana man who was found to have a loaded pistol in his buttocks during a jail strip search. In case you missed that, let me say that sentence again. A Louisiana man who was found to have a loaded pistol in his buttocks during a jail strip search pleaded guilty to weapons and contraband charges.
Jail for man in assault weapons case.
Yeah, I skipped the puns from the smoking gun headline writers. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Justin Savoy, who's 24, comped to a pair of felony counts and a misdemeanor charge in connection with the arrest late last year at a residence in Golden Meadow, which is about 40 miles south of New Orleans. I thought 40 miles south of New Orleans was in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
It's pretty close.
He received a 5-year suspended prison sentence on the felony convictions during a district court hearing. He was also placed on 3 years probation and ordered to serve 90 days in the La Fourche Parish jail. He was taken into custody following his sentencing. If he violates terms of his probation, he risks having to serve all or part of 5 years in state prison with something other than a gun between his cheeks.
He did not want to go to prison. Look, that's one of the places, state. That's probably the state in the country that you do definitely not want to go to prison in.
I'm going to say all of them. I don't want to go in all of them.
I'm agree with you on that, but you definitely know.
Yeah, it's bad times. All right, before we get to small town news, Jason, you look a little forlorn, a little beaten down. Is there anything that we can do to help you feel a little better before we wrap this up?
Do you need a hug?
Are you frozen? I think he might be frozen.
He might be frozen again.
He frozen. Although that is the perfect screen grab for Jason being forlorn.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it. Kareem, let's just wrap it.
Let's leave the hustle and bustle for small town news.
That's right. Police are looking for a Maine woman who put dog feces in mailbox and defaced political signs.
Welcome to the back end of Patriot Subaru.
Yeah, welcome to the back end of Patriot Subaru, Kareem. We'll get to that. The Hamden Police Department is looking for a woman who they say took a political debate too far. There's a fun end to the story.
Political debate too far. On Sunday and Monday, police said a woman went around putting something unpleasant in people's mailboxes if they had Trump signs on their front lawn.
Has been picking up dog feces and putting it in mailboxes, specifically of people who have Trump signs outside. She also has been defacing Trump signs, writing comments on the signs.
Officers say defacing political advertising and vandalism is a crime, and so is putting feces in mailboxes. If you have any information, please contact Hamden Police.
And so, says the small town news anchor, we do have a follow up. They found her. She's a minor.
Oh wow!
So she can't vote. So she's just exercising what political speech she has. Hold on, Jason's back. Are you really back, Jason?
We'll see, man. We'll see what happens.
You froze. You froze up. It's all good. And we finished small town news. Lady was putting dog crap in people's mailboxes if they had a Trump sign.
That's good. That's good. Good job for her.
Yeah, it turns out she's a minor, so that's
do more of it.
Here's the other thing. Because it's a small town news story, the TV station that I have the story from does not have the update. So dog feces, Trump, Maine. That's my search. There
it is.
Yep, there it is. They've identified the girl, not woman, girl, who did it. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have the update here? Yeah, poops. Yeah, because they deleted the photo from the police department's Facebook page because she is a minor. She is a minor. So, haha. All right, Jason, you've had a rough show. We went through a lot. Is there anything we can say to make you feel better before we wrap it up?
Oh man, just if you're listening, just like try to talk your family members into wearing masks and not voting for Trump.
Kareem, what about you? What do you need to be uplifted at the end of the show?
What do I need to be uplifted at the end of the show? Hey,
peanut butter.
Peanut butter. If your man just asked for peanut butter and you're on your way to the store and he's not asking for anything else, buy him some goddamn peanut butter.
You know what would make me feel good is if Nate would do a TikTok dance. That would make me feel better.
Are we still allowed to have TikTok?
Oh yeah,
we are.
Yeah.
It was a big security threat until Trump said, "Oh no, deal's good," and then suddenly, it's not a security threat anymore. Huh? Magic. Apparently, it just went away when things warmed up. Just saying. It's like nothing matters anymore. It's like nothing matters anymore. It's craziness.
Nothing really even matters anymore.
I believe Freddie Mercury sang it best, so I won't bother. Same. All right, that's going to do it for us for this episode of the WTH podcast. Again, thank you so much to everybody who watched on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook. We do appreciate you checking in with us and being part of the community. Also, we appreciate anybody who downloads and listens to the show across the world, from Australia to the Middle East to Europe to the good old US of A. We're here for your amusement all the time. And be on the lookout for the WTH podcast. I know my phone here. On the Swell app. Be on the lookout for that. The Swell app. It's spelled swell, just like I hit my head and look at it swell. Or, oh my gosh, Trump isn't president anymore. Isn't that swell?
We can only hope.
Yeah, it's Swell is a way to communicate via voice. So you can leave us messages and we'll have a conversation back and forth and maybe play some of your stuff on the show. So check that out. For Jason and Kareem, I am Nate. Gentlemen, any last words? I'll start with you, Kareem.
Breathe.
Jason.
Yeah. Take a deep breath.
It's apparent my watch says it's time to stand. So I'll leave you with that. It's time to stand. Stand for something, you'll fall for anything. That'll do it for us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Darling New Media, here to help you tell your story.